I just wanted to do a quick video today about something I think you really need to be doing if you're a music lover and really should be doing if you are a musician. I see too many of my students neglecting this, and I think this thing alone will help you become a much better musician. And even if you're not an active musician, will help you to appreciate music much more. The main thing you need to know is you're probably not listening enough. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, the most basic thing that should occur to you is listen to the music that you're playing. If you're playing a piano sonata by Beethoven, of course, you want to listen to recordings of that. Now, I know some teachers say, don't do that. You're going to get addicted to it. But my view is, wouldn't you want to hear what the great masters are doing with this piece of music? Now, what I suggest is listen to many recordings of it. You don't want to get addicted to one particular performance. So listen to at least three performances of it and listen with the score. So that way you're listening in a more analytical way. And you can write down notes that so-and-so does this here and so does that there. And you're being more analytical, but you're also getting to enjoy more performances of it. Okay, but it goes way beyond that. Many students don't even do that much, listen to multiple recordings of the piece that they're playing. But what you need to also do is to listen to many recordings of the music of that composer, so you get an instinctive understanding of that composer's style. I know you're already studying the scores, and I know you've read a lot about the composer, but even with a great, solid foundation in music theory and musicology, there's still something that seeps in almost by osmosis about that composer if you listen to their other works and not just for that instrument. So, for example, if I go back to the Beethoven Piano Sonata, listen to the string quartets, listen to the symphonies, listen to the cello sonata, listen to the other music of that time, because that's the stuff the composer was wrapping his or her mind around at that time. And you'll get into their language, into their world. I often say to my students, don't speak music as a second language, like ESL is English as a second language. Don't do MSL, music as a second language. By listening to multiple recordings of many pieces by the same composer, you start to speak that composer's language. You get into their head and learn what they're trying to get at. I want you to even go beyond what I've suggested here and listen to jazz and high-level pop, what Rick Beato calls high information music. And why is that? Because especially with jazz, where you have high level chords, complicated chords, sometimes polyphony, sometimes polychords as well, your ear gets stretched and you get even more detail and get used to hearing all that detail. And with high level pop, and I'm talking about not just the stuff that you hear all the time, but the great examples of it. You can hear all sorts of things like textures. You can even hear the way music was recorded. If, for example, you listen to something like Abbey Road or the White Album by the Beatles, you'll hear all the incredible techniques they used. It's also tape techniques and mellotron and different studio techniques they use. This is stuff that challenges your inner ear. It challenges your brain and will help you to hear more expansively. And yeah, even if you're only a classical player, it can affect that. Now, maybe you didn't know that up until the early Romantic period, classical musicians were trained in improvisation. So this is another reason why, if you're just classical, you should listen to jazz, because jazz is all about understanding chords, having a high information music level of listening, and then composing on the spot. That's what improvisation is. And if you play classical music, if you want to do it authentically, aside from playing on an authentic instrument, so-called, you should be able to improvise. Now, of course, you're not improvising in a jazz style, but improvisation is a skill and you can apply it to that. Finally, you need to listen to yourself. If you're not recording yourself, and I mean every day, it's a little bit like a cook who never tastes their food. All professional chefs will say you've got to taste the food you'd say, well, they ought to know what's going on. They're already at a high level, but they're partially at that high level because they taste their food. You've got to taste your food. You've got to listen to yourself every day to hear how you're sounding. Now, the better quality recording you can make, the better it will sound, but anything will work. Anything. You can at least, even from an iPhone, tell how your rhythm is, see if you're in tune, hear your time. You can get a lot from just that. So I think the most important takeaway from this video today is you're not listening enough. I can almost guarantee it. A great musician listens to music all the time, live performances, recordings, and themselves. And they listen to many genres of music, and they listen to many different performances of the things that they're playing, and many different performances of the music of the composers they're playing. I guarantee if you set aside time every day to listen and challenge your ear with this high information music, you will improve. Give me your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about this. And if do you do this already? What sort of things do you do? And don't forget to like and subscribe. And please consider becoming a member of the channel. Thanks so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.